Hello, I am Millen Hershey and I am well known for creating the Hershey Bar. A fact about me is I have my own town in Pennsylvania. In the town, there are many features such as parks, homes, and buildings. Another fact about me is I got inspired to create my own chocolate at the Columbian Exposition in 1893. There, I realized I liked chocolate more than caramel, so I decided to sell my caramel factory and start my new chocolate factory, the Hershey Company.
Hi, my name is Neil Armstrong, and I'm most known for being the first man to set foot on the moon. When I was little, I wanted to fly in planes, so I decided to become a pilot when I was in college. During college, I was sent to Korea to fight in the war as a pilot. After the war, I was recruited to become an astronaut. I went through 6 months of training before I could actually go to the moon. On July 16, 1969, I went to the moon with 2 other astronauts, Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins, aboard the Apollo 11. When I first stepped on the moon, I said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." When we returned back to Earth, we had a big parade and we traveled to 20 different countries. That same year, I was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Nixon.
Hello, my name is Harriet Tubman. Nobody is quite sure when I was born because slave birthdays are not recorded, but it was sometime between 1820 and 1822. As a child, I was sick often. When I was 6 years old, I was sold to the Cook family. They were very mean and they whipped me if I did something wrong. When I got sick, they would send me back to my mother and she would nurse me back to health. Then I would return to the Cooks. After one especially long sickness, when I went back to the Cooks, they wanted to teach me how to weave on a loom. It was very hard and the air was dusty. I couldn't do it. They whipped me and sent me back to my mother for good. I worked outside with the men because I hated the inside work that women usually did. Slowly, I grew up and I married a free black man named John Tubman. It was then that I began seriously thinking about escape. However, John did not want me to escape. He told me that if I did, he would tell my owner and the punishments would be severe. I began to fear him. One day, I learned that I was going to be sold. Late that night, despite my husband's warnings, I packed my bag and headed out for the Underground Railroad. There were many stops, and it took a total of 18 months, but finally I reached Pennsylvania. However, I missed my family, and I wanted to help them. My first rescue was my niece's 2 children who were going to be sold. It was very dangerous because slave catchers were looking for me, but I kept saving lives. One of my rescues, I saved my parents and other family. Between 1850 and 1860, I saved a total of 70 people in 13 trips. My life shows that if you work hard to make something happen, nothing is impossible.
Hello, my name is Alexander Hamilton, and I was born in the British West Indies in 1755. I died in a duel against Aaron Burr in 1804. When I was just a young lad, my mother died, and my brother James and I were left alone. All we had was our aunt because our father had abandoned us when we were just little kids. I attended King's College in America and quickly learned to love politics. I joined the Continental Army and served as a general and as Washington's aide. I didn't enjoy Washington's aide because it just wasn't my type of fighting, I'd like to say. I am mostly known for now as the very first United States Secretary of the Treasury, and I'm on the $10 bill. Thank you. I hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Alice Eastwood. I'm a botanist who studies plants and flowers. I was born on January 19, 1859, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In 1892, as a young adult, I became co-curator in a herbarium at the California Academy of Sciences. It was a great honor. During this period, I discovered and named hundreds of plants. Many were named after me, but the most greatest honor was the Eastwoodia elegans, named by Townshend Brandegee, who was one of my close peers. I traveled a lot too, and earned many awards. I worked for 75 years in botany, and still, when I was old, I did not slow down. Then, when I was getting older, in the year of 1953. I died on October 30th. I had a great life, but I loved being with the flowers. Thank you.
I am Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America. I was born in 1809 in Hodgeville, Kentucky. I am most known for being the 16th President of the United States of America and also stopping slaves in Confederate states. I died on April 14th, 1865. I was put on the penny in 1909, the $5 bill in 1923, and the Lincoln Memorial was made in 1922.
Hello, I'm Juliet Gordon Lowe, founder of Girl Scouts in the USA and Girl Guides everywhere else. When I was 12, I was sent to a number of different boarding schools because my parents valued a higher education. I was nearly deaf because of many ear infections as a kid, and a piece of rice lodged in my eardrum at my wedding. My husband, William McKay Lowe, wanted to divorce after he met another lady, Anna Bateman. Today, WAGS, the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. Hello, want to buy some cookies? Celebrate and learn about me. The best day to do this is October 31st, or Halloween, my birthday. I am Juliet Gordon Lowe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Christopher Columbus, a sailor from Spain. Let me tell you some facts you may or may not know about me and my voyages to the Americas. I was born on October 31st, 1451 in the Republic of Genoa. On August 3rd, 1492, I went to see the King and Queen of Spain for the third time. I was trying to convince them to support my dream of going to Cibao on the far east going west, improving this new route. This time, I convinced them and they funded my trip with the men I needed, supplies, and 3 caravels for the trip. I set sails, and on October 12th, 1492, I found land in Col de San Salvador. In this trip and 3 others, I found many new islands. I named these islands Española, Santa Maria, Santa Cruz, Dominica, Guadalupe, Trinidad, and Martinique. I lived an amazing life full of discoveries and adventures. I died a proud man on May 20th, 1506 in Valladolid, Spain. I leave you with some words of wisdom. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Muchas gracias, hermanos, y que Dios nos bendiga. Ole!
Oh, hi there. I'm Albert Einstein, a famous scientist. Ever since I was a child, I've loved science and physics. My love and curiosity for it has made me fulfill my dreams. Here are some interesting facts about me. I was bullied in elementary school because I was Jewish and everyone else was, well, Roman Catholic. On top of that, my grades weren't that good. Only in science and physics were I succeeding. Second of all, I made a teal-green fridge because a Berlin family had died of suffocation because the fridge had leaked toxic gases. So I made a portable, leakage-free mini one with my friend Leah. It didn't get famous, but it was fun to make. Third, I won a Nobel Prize from the photoelectric effect. Here are some interesting facts about me. I play violin, and I never wear socks because my big toe always puts holes in them.
Hi, my name is Steve Jobs. I'm the creator of the iPhone and the MacBook. Some things you don't know about me is that I used to work at Atari, a small video game company. Another thing you might not know about me is that when I unveiled the first iPhone, the cover instead of glass used to be plastic. Later, when I finished the presentation, I said to my coworkers, change it to glass because if it's plastic, there'll be fingerprints and it'll be messy. Bye.
Hi, my name is Martha Washington. I was known for being the First Lady and married to George Washington, the First Lady for 8 years. It's crazy, I know. Before all that, I was married to Daniel Kettis at the age of 17 until he died But then I've moved on, and now I'm married with George Washington, happily married. When I was a young child, I loved to read and write in notebooks that I had. And for the reading and writing, I was a girl. I developed it when I was really young, at the age like 7 or 8. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
Hi, my name is Alexander Granville. I was born in 1847 and died in 1922, and I'm here to tell you 3 fun facts about me. First, I created the telephone, which was a long, hard, treacherous journey that had many setbacks. Second, I chose my own middle name for myself from a family friend. I liked the name Graham, so I gave it to myself. Third, I created a hydrofoil boat which set a record speed on water for that time. Thank you.
My name is Amelia Earhart. I am most known for flying across the Atlantic Ocean. When I was 11, I saw my first plane, but I didn't really like it because it was old, rusty, and not clean. Then, when I was in college, I was invited to an air show, and that is when I first fell in love with planes. I also met Netta Snook, an American flying teacher, but when I asked my parents for flying lessons, they said they couldn't afford it because it was too expensive. So I got a job, and I had my first flying lesson on January 3rd, 1921. Snook said that I was a fast learner, and with her help, I did amazing things. On July 28, 1928, I flew across the Atlantic Ocean all alone. I had many problems during this flight, such as my oil was running low, and there was thick clouds which made it hard for me to fly. But I made it. I was an inspiration to many girls.
Hello, I am George Washington. You may know me as our first president, but what you might have not known is that when I was 16, I became a surveyor. My entire career in the Virginia Army began when the governor of Virginia asked me to deliver a message asking the French to leave. The French refused when I got there, and that is how the long war called the French Indian War began. After that ended, I became the first president of the United States of America.
Hello, my name is James Madison, and I'm probably most known for being one of the founding fathers and the 4th U.S. president. One thing you might not know about me is I did not sign the Declaration of Independence. Most people think I did, but I was only 25 in 1776. Most people consider me the father of the Constitution. I drafted the first U.S. Constitution and the idea for 3 branches of government with checks and balances. I signed the U.S. Constitution in 1787. After a few years, I drafted the amendments for the Constitution called the Bill of Rights because I thought that the citizens deserve more rights such as freedom of speech and religion. I was the last surviving signer of the U.S. Constitution, and after I died in 1836, the country had grown to 25 states.
Hello, my name is Albert Einstein. I love to play the violin. It's so calming. I also am the man who made E = mc squared. Man, that took a long time to discover. Also, I helped make the atomic bombs. I regret doing it because it killed millions.
Hi, my name is Harriet Tubman. What most people know about me is that I helped slaves escape for freedom. What some people might not know about me is that at a young age, I was hit by a 2 pounds weight that affected me with narcolepsy. In 1849, I left my home, husband, and slavery to seek freedom and religion. In 1861, I joined the Civil War. In the Civil War, I served as a nurse, a cook, and a spy. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Henry Ford. I'm best known as the inventor of the Model T and the creator of the Ford Motor Company. Here are 3 interesting facts about me. The first interesting fact about me is that I started work at a very young age of 16. I started to work at a steam-powered engine company. Over the years that I worked there, it came to my thought of making a gas-powered engine. The second interesting fact about me is that on December 24th, 1893, I created my first ever gas-powered engine, but it smoked up the whole house. Luckily, it was not the engine, it was just the fumes. The third interesting fact about me is that in 1908, I created the Model T. By 1920, I sold more than 1 million Model Ts and it was the best-selling worldwide car. And it was also very affordable and big enough for a full family. In conclusion, I went on to build a multi-million-dollar vehicle company, which is now known today still as the Ford Motor Company.
Hi, my name is Abigail Adams. I was born on November 11, 1744, in Weymouth, Massachusetts, to Reverend William Smith and Elizabeth Quincy Smith. I'm the second of 4 children. I got married at the age of 19 to John Adams. I was a devoted wife. I'm famous for writing over 1,100 letters to John in my lifetime. I'm also a feminist. When my husband was writing the Declaration of Independence, I wrote to him saying, "Remember the ladies, and do not put so much power in the hands of the husband." I was requesting that John give women rights. My husband recently became the 2nd president of the U.S. As you can see behind me, we are the first president and first lady to move into the president's house. Also, my son John Quincy Adams became the 6th president of the United States. I have a lot to be proud of.
I'm Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the Union, and I'm here to share 3 facts about myself, 3 of them. Number 1, the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation was where I freed slaves in 10 states. It also gave slaves the right to join the army. Fact 2 about myself. I am the first president to own a patent. Here's my patent, and my patent is moving boats place to place. Here's the boat, and here's the shoal. This is a technique to move boats. And then we move it from the shoal to this other side. Fact 3 about myself is that I lost 5 elections before I actually got elected for president. So for all you young dreamers that are out there wanting to be a president, do not give up. Do not give up, because I felt like giving up and it was not the right thing to do. Because then, look at me now, I'm the president. And also, a bonus fact about myself is I file papers in my hats. Here's a paper. It's one of my files that I keep in my hats. And yeah.
I am Eliza Lucas. I am most known for developing indigo as one of the most important cash crop in South Carolina. The color indigo is a rare dye, and the wearer of the garment of this color symbolized wealth. I experimented in ways to make this tropical plant used in these dyes to flourish in South Carolina, making the state a major exporter of the dye. A fact you might not know about me is that I was the first woman to be inducted into the South Carolina Business Hall of Fame. I was also very good friends with the first president. President George Washington served as a pallbearer at my funeral. I died of breast cancer on May 26, 1793.
Hi, my name is George Eastman. I'm the founder and owner of the Kodak Company. Here are some facts about me. When I was 16 years old, I dropped out of high school and then took 3 jobs to support my family. Another fact is, in 1888, I introduced my first Kodak camera, but after a year of selling, people stopped using it. The last fact is, in 1900, I introduced a brownie camera, which was $1. So even children can use it.
It was the biggest hit out of my time, up to 1960. There is just one more thing I want to tell you. In 2020, my company would be $4 billion.
Hello, my name is Amelia Earhart, and I would like to tell you 3 interesting facts about myself. My first fact is that I set a women's altitude record for 14,000 feet. My second fact is that I was the first female to cross the Atlantic Ocean by plane. Finally, my third fact is that I lost control of my plane during a flight across the globe, and I also crashed my plane. And this is also what I am most known for. Thank you so much for watching my video.
Hello, my name is Meriwether Lewis. You may have heard of me before from my expedition on the Louisiana Purchase with my dog Seaman and my friend Clark. We made it from one end of the country to the other, encountering many Native Americans such as Sacagawea, a Native American who helped us talk to the other Native tribes. She also gave birth to a little boy that we nicknamed Pompey, meaning little chief. My dog was sadly bitten by a beaver, and I had to perform surgery on him. While it may have been a tough time, it was the best 3 years of my life.
I am Betsy Ross. I was born on January 1st, 1752 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When I was 12, I was an apprentice at Mr. Webster's sewing shop. I am most known for creating the first American flag.
Hi, my name is Louisa May Alcott, and I'm most famous for writing my book, Little Women. It is inspired by me and my family's experiences. I was a nurse during the Civil War, and I was born on my father's 33rd birthday, November 29th, 1832. And I like cats.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Franklin. I was born on January 17th, 1706. I am an inventor, printer, author, and founding father. One of my first inventions happened when I was 11 years old. Have you ever heard of swim fins? If so, now you know that I invented them. I indeed did many things in life, including proving that lightning was the same as electricity, and I could not have done it without the help of my trusty kite. And that experiment led to one of my greatest inventions, the lightning rod. I am a very well-known founding father. As for I helped publish the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Did I mention I was very intelligent? I also invented these. These are called bifocals. Bifocals help millions of people see. I truly was the best, and I don't see why people called me arrogant.
Hi, my name is Clara Barton. I am known as the Angel of the Battlefield. I got this title after caring for many injured soldiers during the Civil War. As you may know, I have always had a passion for helping people. Did you know that when I was just a little girl, my brother David fell from the barn rafters? I ended up caring for him for almost 2 years till he got better. At age 17, I became a teacher. After getting my degree for teaching, I set up a public school for poor children in New Jersey. Over 600 students enrolled. As I previously mentioned, I went to the battlefield of the Civil War and tended to the injured. Once, while I was giving water to a soldier, he suddenly died. I did not know what killed him and was quite puzzled. Then I saw a large hole gaping through my sleeve. I realized that a bullet had cut through my sleeve and I narrowly escaped death. After the war, I decided to go to Switzerland for a break from the battles. I learned about the Red Cross in Switzerland and I wanted to bring it to America. After a few years of hard work, I was finally able to found the American Association of the Red Cross. We help after forest fires and natural disasters. Today, Red Cross still helps around the world to help save lives.
Hi, I am Thomas Jefferson.
I am most known for being the third president of the United States of America. One thing you might not know about me is I am on the nickel and the $2 bill. Another thing you might not know about me is I wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Hello, my name is Jonas Salk, and I am most famous for inventing the polio vaccine. Something you may not know is that some of the very first people that I tested my vaccine on include myself and my family. Another thing you may not know is that I planned to be a lawyer, although many doubted me. This was just one of the few times where I reconsidered my career.
Greetings, my fellow men. I am George Washington. I was born on February 22nd, 1732 to Martha Ball and Augustine Washington. I served in the British military, and they used to call me General Washington. I fought in the French and Indian War. As a Revolutionary War hero, I protested against unfair laws such as high taxes. I was one of the representatives for the First and Second Congress who wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. I was 26 years old when I married Martha Custis. Together we raised 2 children, Francis and Daniel. I was elected as the first President of the United States. I established a State of the Union speech, a yearly update on how the country is doing. I appointed federal judges, and I established government services such as banks. After serving 2 back-to-back years as president, I retired to Mount Vernon in 1797. I was praised as being first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of my countrymen. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Thomas Edison, and I was born in a little house in Ohio on February 11th, 1847. I am the youngest of 7 children. I have been inventing since a very young age. I even created a lab in my family basement when I was 9 years old. My most successful invention is the light bulb. My light bulb can last up to 1,200 hours. I have created so many inventions that I opened my own industrial park. That is when everyone decided to call me the Wizard of Menlo Park. I have earned 1,093 patents under my name. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Hi, my name is Molly Pitcher, and I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, October 13th, 1754. When I was around 15 years old, I moved to Charlottesville, Pennsylvania to work as a maid for Dr. Irvine. As I got older, I went to war in the Battle of Monmouth, and there I brought pitchers of water to soldiers. And I fired a cannon after my husband died. I died January 22nd, 1832, after I remarried twice to John Macaulay.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Franklin. I'm most known for my kite experiment. It was a wild night, that one. Only me and my son William went out. And thanks to my kite experiments, I have made many inventions, including the lightning rod, the Franklin light post, and the bifocals. My grandfather was an indentured servant. That was sadly the only thing I knew about him. And I'm one of the only non-presidents on the dollar bill.
Hello, I am Elizabeth Blackwell. I was born in Bristol, England, 1821, to a very large family. At the age of 11, my family and I moved to the U.S., where 6 years later, my father's business sadly failed, and he died of malaria. I was very sad because I was very close to my father. He left us with less than $20, and that barely provided us with food for a week. My sisters and I even opened a boarding school at home to help support our family. One day, a very sick friend of mine Mary Donaldson, suggested that I study medicine. I thought that this was very silly. But over time, as I studied medicine, I thought, hey, this is interesting. So, I applied to 29 medical schools, and only one of the 29 medical schools accepted me as a joke. The students thought that it was a joke. But one day I came marching in, a woman in a medical school. They were surprised. And I graduated top of my class, and I proved that a woman can be a doctor. I was the first American woman doctor. As I say, no one can know what we are capable of until we are tested.
Hello, my name is Harry Ford, and you might know me as the founder of Ford Motor Company. At Ford, we made one of the most fastest cars in the world and one of the best off-road cars in the world. I was born on July 30th, 1863 in Michigan and 10 miles from Detroit. At the age of 16, I took a job at a motor company, and that gave me the influence to be a mechanic. In 1885, at a New Year dance, I met Clever Jane Ryan, fell in love, and we got married on April 11th, 1888. 8 years later, I had my first son called Edsel Ryan Ford. On 1915, Ford was created. In 1930, I gave a speech to any mechanic who would like to join Ford, and they would get a reasonable pay. At this day, one of our best cars and most fastest cars is the Ford GT. The end.
My name is Jane Goodall. I lived and studied with chimpanzees for many years. I learned that chimpanzees make and use tools. They use the tools to catch their food. Each chimp has their own personality. Like some are playful and some are shy. I also learned that chimps hug and kiss. They also communicate with each other. I dedicated my life to these animals, and I would do it all over again.
Hello, my name is Thomas Edison, and I am most famous for my invention of the light bulb. This was not easy. I had to have many people from my company help me and I had to make over 3,000 copies before I was able to produce my final product that was able to be put into a person's home and work functionally. I was not very good in school, even though most people think so because I am a famous inventor. Although I did spend a lot of time in my laboratory in my parents' basement, which I built when I was 10 years old. I got a job in railroad telegraph because I saved a girl from the railroad, and her father happened to know this skill and taught me as a reward.
Hello, my name is Betsy Ross. I was born on January 1st, 1756. 3 facts about my life is that I helped in war, sued the American flag, and helped my dad build the Liberty Bell.